Okay, these 6 facts you need to know on fluoride. Fluoride is the only drug that is forced in mass medication to the population with no control of dosing. There are 2 common fluorides in our drinking water supply. 2. We have sodium silicofluoride and hydrofluorosilicide. These are used in the fertilizer industry and are classified as hazardous waste. There is a link of fluoride to brain damage. 23 plus human studies and 100 plus animal studies. 50% of the ingested fluoride is deposited in children, with only about 10% stored in adults. 41% of American children have dental fluoridosis, which is the excess of fluoride, according to the CDC. 99% of the fluoride goes into the public water drinking supply and down the drain and into the environment. In a large study done by the National Institute of Dental Fluoridation and the United States Public Health Service examined 39,207 U.S. school children from 84 different geographical areas aged 5 to 7. The $3 million study concluded that there was no relation between tooth decay rates and fluoridation. According to Null, ironically, the lowest tooth decay rate recorded occurred in non-fluoridated regions. The average number of decay, missing, and filled permanent teeth per child was 2.0 in fluoridated areas and 2.0 in non-fluoridated areas, 2.2 in the partially fluoridated areas. The percentage of decay-free children in fluoridated, non-fluoridated, and partially fluoridated areas was 34, 35, and 31% respectively. The study clearly shows that fluoride has no impact on improving dental quality of children in the U.S. Another huge ethical dilemma regarding fluoride is that it's a drug and that we are being medicated without our consent. In fact, the FDA calls fluoride a drug, according to the fluoridealert.com. Excuse me. Connet goes on to state, informed consent is a standard practice for all medication, and one of the key reasons why most Western Europe has ruled against fluoridation, why most of Western Europe has ruled against it, it's due to the informed consent. Connet states, with water fluoridation, we are allowing governments to do to whole communities, forcing people to take a medicine without their consent, and what individual doctors cannot do to an individual patient. We are being medicated without permission and a lot of times without the knowledge of it even happening. The problem with this is that the medication is supposed to be taken in different doses depending on the individual. An infant should not be getting the same dose of a medication as a man at 180 pounds. Null goes on to state, another problem is that there is no way to control the dosing of intake of fluoride once it's released into the public water supply. Athletes and people living in hot climates drink more water and are exposing themselves to more fluoride. In fact, there is a disease called fluoridosis, an overexposure of fluoride which causes deposits to be left on the teeth. That is not the only place that fluoride accumulates in the body. It also calcifies the bones and the pineal gland, a gland located in the center of the brain responsible for the synthesis and secretion of the hormone melatonin. Melatonin maintains the body's circadian rhythm, sleep-wake cycle, regulates the onset of puberty in females, and helps protect the body from the damage caused by free radicals. I'm going to show you a picture which has to do with the devastating effects of fluoride in the pineal gland. I'm going to show it to you, and then you can refer back to it, and I'm going to read, and I also sent it in the email. Fluoride in the pineal gland. Up until the 1900s, no research has ever been conducted to determine the impact of fluoride in the pineal gland. That's that small hormone in the brain that regulates the production of melatonin. Melatonin regulates the sleep-wake cycles, and regulates the puberty of, helps the onset of puberty, and helps protect the body from the damage of free radicals. There are some quick facts. More people drink fluoridated water in the U.S. than the rest of the world. Heavy tea drinkers risk fluoride-induced bone disease. 97% of Western Europe has rejected fluoridation. Fluoride has been linked to male infertility. And I'm going to show you again the picture, and you can see where the pineal gland is located in the brain. Okay. It is estimated that around 40% of teenagers have signs of fluoridosis. Mercola states it is likely that this is a sign that children are receiving large amounts of fluoride from multiple sources, including not only drinking water, but also fluoride toothpaste, processed beverages, foods, fluoride, pesticides, tea, non-stick pans, and some fluorinated drugs. Advocates of the fluoride drinking water argue that the benefits for oral health, preventing cavities and tooth decay, however, the benefits of fluoride have been demonstrated to be effectively topical, not systematic. Maine states it has become clear in the last 15 years fluoride primarily acts topically according to the CDC. It reacts with the surface of the tooth enamel, making it more resistant to acids excreted by bacteria. Thus, there is no good reason to swallow fluoride and subject every tissue to your body to it. Studies that attest to the effectiveness of fluoridation were generally done before the widespread usage of fluoride-containing dental products, like rinses, toothpaste in the 1970s and later. So while it may have been once made sense to add fluoride to the water, it no longer appears to be necessary or useful. Maine goes on to state, another with his study that tracked the fluoridation consumption of more than 600 school children in Iowa showed there was no significant link between fluoride ingestion and tooth decay. What seems to be a rather outdated practice needs to be reconsidered, given the new evidence showing the detrimental effects to our mental and physical health. Based on my findings, I believe that the U.S. should stop the fluoridation of the public drinking water. There have been many countless studies showing the negative effects of human health, including infertility, decreased IQ, and birth defects.